back with another episode of Double Barrel Shotgun with your host Even B. Here we're at this week. We missed a week. We apologize about that. We're gonna try to get tighter. It's real busy at this time, but we're definitely gonna make the effort to get much more consistent how we've done in the past. So still expect this as possible each week. But let's get into it this week, man. Let's get some football. Right now we're 3 weeks in. I mean, there's some vultures, swirling around some stadiums right now. We're going to talk about who's on the chopping block as far as coaches go. I'm going to throw a couple names at you, and you tell me what you think, man. Okay, I think I said for after week one, I'm sticking with it, even though they got the win this past week and a surprise win. I still think Rex Ryan is right now. I don't care if they won 38, 50 to 14. I don't care what they did this past week against Arizona. In my mind, this dude right now is hanging on. He's hanging on a string now.
Yeah, he's doing the thing of self-preservation, man. Because like him firing, I think Greg Roman has been one of the top offensive coordinators for the last 4 years. Okay, because it's been proven what he's done in San Francisco. He made Kaepernick into a quarterback, a running quarterback, nonetheless, but he had an awesome running game. And even in Buffalo, now I don't know what was going on, but apparently when you read some of the things, he thought that Ryan was a nincompoop. That's what he said. He basically said Ryan had no clue what the hell he was doing. Right? Now, in fairness, Ryan is a defensive coordinator. But I think he masquerades as a defense coordinator who is a horrible head coach. You know what I mean? So,
some guys are just like that, man.
Like I'm sorry, he doesn't coach guys. I don't think he's a good. I don't think he knows how to. I think he knows how to coach.
I don't think he knows how to coach offense.
Right. I don't. But he doesn't know. But listen, my point about it is that if you're a head coach, you got to know how to come up and have a system to surround yourself with with coaches who can actually help coach and get your players to do what needs to get done. Right. And even though that I still don't understand what happened to Arizona in that game, but I still think Rex Ryan. I think the Pagulas are ready to do the heave ho. I think the love affair with all that bluster talk, he's done. He's done.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one of the ones I had to block. I'll throw another name at you. What do you think? Sean Payton.
Dude, okay.
Speak to it, man. Now, everyone else in the world was watching the debate on Monday night, but 8 million people in the States actually squeezed out to watch this debacle.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that they've been bad after their Super Bowl win.
Yeah, they've been bad pretty much since then. It was like
even when they had the defense, even when they won, their defense was horrible.
It was high risk, high reward. That's what it was.
Listen, it was basically just as long as there was turnovers and interceptions, they couldn't stop all that.
It really makes you wonder how much Bounty Gate affected their defense, because they used to be like headhunting, which struck fear in the folks, and who knows what type of effect that had when it came to hold on to the ball. Once that aggressive seemed to be taken away from them, obviously talent too, it seems like they haven't been the same team since.
But here's the problem, though. I think I texted you guys and I said, look, the front office is terrible because they put money in the wrong people.
True.
Right? Look, no disrespect. I think Drew Brees is a great quarterback and stuff like that, but you do not pay this man at this time in his career that type of money.
You got the Kobe deal, man.
Huh?
You got the Kobe deal.
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
You almost never see the Kobe deal in football. Like, that's unheard of.
And the thing about it is they've put so much money into bad contracts, and it's been horrendous for the last 3 years. And their front office doesn't know what they do. They've cut in their own draft picks that they've already had 2 years ago. Cut them this year.
Right, exactly.
Oh my gosh. And the offense, again, when you have a man who throws the ball 50 times, or who throws 3 or 4 touchdowns in the game, and you still lose consistently.
Right.
That's a. And how many defensive coordinators has he fired?
I've lost track, man.
Dude.
I've lost track.
It's never, and nobody's ever come to the thing of saying maybe we should probably just start drafting some defensive players.
Was it Rex Ryan's brother one of them?
Yeah, man.
I lost track way back when.
Yeah, man. And he was there when they won. He was there when they won. But the problem is that he's gone through a whole bunch of coaching. But the offense ain't the issue. Hello. Yeah. Then then come up and you pay what you got to do to get the defense.
He's the opposite of Rex Ryan. If you put the two together, you might have one hell of a coach. You know.
Yeah, oh my goodness! Like I like Peyton because I think he's a great coordinator.
Right.
But head coach?
Yeah, all right, man. Throw out one your side, man. Who you saying?
I would be honest with you, man. I think that Green Bay coach. I think that situation. I think you got to look at that situation in Green Bay. You know,
that's a powder keg. I mean, that is really unstable. That situation. It all takes a couple more losses, and Rodgers, his petulant self. Yeah,
it's never Aaron's fault.
Well, no, the two never liked each other either, so he'd be waiting to kind of, it's kind of one of those things where Rodgers has been so good, he doesn't like the coach, but he's helping enough because he's winning games. So, right. but if the wins don't come as fluid as they were in the past, you're right. I can see McCarthy being gone, man. I think he's a brutal coach myself. I don't care anytime. That dude, the only person to be worse with him when it comes to managing a situation late in the game, as far as I'm concerned, and there's a few of them in this case. I think Marvin Jones in this case would be Marvin Lewis would be up there, as well as my man Andy Reid, who's number one.
Geez.
Andy Reid is numero uno by far.
Yeah.
Look at his stupid sheet as the clock's ticking away. It's like, we can call timeout.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. So
the other coach too is I think the guy from San Diego. I think he's. I just think that the injuries have taken a toll, but I don't think he's a good coach.
San Diego's been kind of hard to figure out because they come out, they play great sometimes, and then other times they look like they're just horrible. I'm not really sure where San Diego's at, so I'll hold off on them. I got two others to think of. Well, I'll say this one in this case. Who is in this case? No one. Huh?
Oh,
well, I was gonna get to him, but we might as well start with him because believe me, I ain't really celebrating folks when they lose their job, but I wouldn't say it'd be popping champagne. But I might have a nice cool beverage that day when that day comes in. Let's put it that way.
Can I be honest with you, though?
Sure.
At least he's consistent. He does call it his quarterbacks, guy.
It took a while to call this one out, man.
He calls them out publicly, but let's put it this
way. So Colt McCoy's the new golden boy now?
Oh, very soon. But I'm going to say this, though. The Washington Redskins suck. All right? They suck. The franchise stinks. They're garbage. But yet, the players on that team think they are the best things going on, and yet you hear a lot of stuff that comes out of that locker room, tons of stuff, and they're a losing franchise. They're garbage. Like even when Griffin was there, you heard tons of stuff. Now with Cousins there, you're hearing tons of stuff.
Yeah, everyone's got leaky mouths over there, man.
Oh, definitely, man. And then you wonder why they're not winning.
Yeah, dudes be yapping at high school students every second out there, man.
Every
chance they get, someone can find a microphone.
Yeah, but let's get back to Gruden, though. Gruden, he's listen, his notoriety is being John Gruden's brother. Yeah. That's one. Number two, somewhat helping out the boy from Cincinnati, Andy Dalton, be decent. But after that, he's been the coach on that team, and he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, folks in the NFL, man, stop with the nepotism. It just doesn't work.
Hey, man, straightforward, man.
It doesn't work. Okay, just end it. Okay, I mean Shanahan's kid was another one too. It doesn't work. Just leave it be. Okay, yeah. Here's my last one. I'll throw it here so we're going to wrap this up. The mustache himself. Like,
overrated.
This dude is Mr. 500. What does Milani call him? 50-50? For folks that don't know who we're talking about Jeff Fisher. 50-50.
He was 50-50.
I almost ran out the road when I heard him call him that. I was like, no.
It's true, though. Like, but yet this guy has a job in the league.
Oh my gosh.
He was mediocre in Tennessee. That's what Steve McNair there. That's what Eddie George there.
This guy,
Javon Curse.
Oh my gosh. You know who he is? He's the Ryan Fitzpatrick of coaches.
I mean,
it's just brutal. Mediocrity.
Man. Like, seriously. And the thing is, and think about it, their draft pick, their number one draft pick is the third quarterback on the team.
Which, and this is the point I say all the time, man. It's like, you tell me you can't find any good young coaches, black, white, green, or otherwise. They're either coming up in the ranks as assistants or coordinators, or even from the college ranks, that you could get some of these fossils out here. Like, really?
Okay. I'm going to tell you something. I heard a real great podcast. Not to plug anybody else's podcast, but I was listening to the Ross Tucker show, and he had a guest on who basically talked about saying what the real issue is in the NFL about coaching. All right. A lot of the defense, you would be surprised. A lot of the defensive coordinators, black defensive coordinators, all right, the unknown ones, the ones that coach the players, because players know coaches and they know who can do the job.
Right.
They have basically said that a lot of the NFL owners just don't like to have too much of a black staff. Right? Even though especially when it comes to the head coaching aspect, because a lot of the defensive coaches, the ones that are the line coaches, the defensive back coaches, they said a majority of those guys are so good on the offensive side of the ball that some of the OCs, the ones that are there now, actually go to those defensive back coaches, those linebacking coaches, and ask them for stuff. So,
there's a couple of things to unpack from that statement, right? I find interesting in the NFL. I always get the sense in this case that black coaches usually only seem to be able to work on one side of the ball, the defensive side. You rarely get to see black coaches as offensive coordinators when it's all said and done. And I think this goes back to a brain situation, right? Because defense is usually considered to be the reactive side of the ball. So therefore, you just need instinctiveness, emotion, passion. Right. You go coach those brothers up in this case here to do that. Right. But the cerebral side of it, that's on the offensive side, right? I think that's part of it. Second part in this case here goes back to more of like overall, just coaches, black, white, brown, whatever, of just the safety of just knowing folks. It's this elite boys club. It's like, oh, you know Jeff? I know Jeff. Say, Jeff's a good guy, man. Hire him. Don't do diligence on made the games pass Jeff by. Maybe Jeff was that good of a coach in the first place. But but he just knows people in the industry, so he gets a job.
That's true. But here's the thing I'm going to say right now. I think you're gonna see a real interesting wave happen. Like aside from the Belichick tree, because I think Josh McDaniels is going to get another job.
You think so?
I think so. I think so.
How successful has the Belichick tree been?
Not successfully, but Josh McDaniels basically got himself another head coaching job. Because I'm going to say this: if the Pat, especially with that whole Garoppolo stuff, listen, the Pats developed.
So you're essentially saying you're saying in this case here, he leaves this year and he takes Garoppolo with him. I'm not saying.
Hey, man! Any given Sunday, look what happened at the end with JB Fox.
Willie Beeman in the building, guy.
Beeman, come on, screaming Beeman. He went to the other place with the coach went. But I think that's going to happen. Okay. But the thing for me, I had a thought that's really getting me right now. It's just that, right, when it comes to the league, the NFL, as you said, it's still the old boys network. But that situation in Philadelphia. You know what? It's fascinating. Want to know why it's fascinating? Because every guy, the head coach was a quarterback coach. The offensive coordinator was a quarterback coach. He was and these were all the coaches that are in Philadelphia and the offensive side. Do you know what they were all? They were all backup quarterbacks. And the thing is, that the backups obviously sometimes are probably just as better coaches in terms of in some aspects.
I hear you. I get nervous about that, man, because everyone starts thinking about position, right? It's like catchers in baseball is great managers, and then they a bunch of them stuck up the joint.
I hear you, but this is the perspective that I come with because first of all, I've known I've heard of Doug Peterson for many years. He was a crappy quarterback, true, but. And when it came to the head coach, when it came to coaching, you always heard his name around. Frank Reich, you always heard his name around.
I know, I hear you, because especially now that the Super Bowl winning coach is a former quarterback.
Right. So the thing about it is that I'm thinking, and remember, these guys didn't have relationships, but they admired each other from a far distance, right?
Well, if to your point, if that is the case, then going back to the point we were talking about unpackaging before, if you're a black head coach or a black coach moving up in the ranks in the NFL, your job, you're possibly even getting an interview, has gotten even a little less now. Because they're only slicing the thing down to backup quarterbacks. Well, how many of them in this case are black backup quarterbacks at this stage? Maybe 20 years from now, you might get a few, but not at this stage. So that it's one more layer in this case. I mean, you take your guy from the Giants in this case, Fuel. That dude was supposed to be like a hot thing, and then I think he got one interview.
Is he even in the league
I
anymore?
don't think he's in the league. I mean, the defense had a rough go at it, but I mean, when your top defensive end blows off his finger for most of the season, it's kind of tough to kind of patch up the last second.
Gotta keep away from them. Gotta keep away from them firecrackers.
Kids,
boss.
man. PSA here, man.
Yeah, man.
Don't play with firecrackers.
Can't play with firecrackers.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. So I mean, we'll end it on that note. There, sorry, JPP. What's up, Haiti? I see Haiti. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Who knows what we'll come up with next week? But yeah, I think right now there's some very interesting moves are going to be made for some franchises, and some we did not talk about that it could go south real quick for a few of them. I ain't gonna mention
Free Colin Kaepernick.
Right? Yeah, I ain't gonna mention no names, but
he needs to be playing.
North Kakalaka could be some
Yeah,
issues.
man, he needs to be playing. Him and his afro.
Well, don't worry, but he'll play. You got Blaine Gabbert as a quarterback. Even though on a side note, I saw a stat before last week because it already got broken last week. I think he had the longest streak of throwing touchdowns in the game, Blaine Gabbert.
What?
Yeah, it was on the ticker last Sunday before the game's like, I had to look twice, don't spit up my drink. Like, you serious? So I don't know if they threw. I can't remember what the score was in the San Francisco game. They even scored a touchdown for after a half. They had it, so maybe the streak got broken. But I'm pretty sure what I saw was Blaine Gabbert was the leading guy for leading quarterback that had the longest streak of like consecutive games with a touchdown thrown. I was shocked when I saw that. But anyway, hey, that's why I read across the ticker. That's all I can say.
Oh man, I think it had to be Bortles, man, because I know Bortles.
Maybe it's Bortles. I don't know, but I swore something. Yeah, but don't quote me on it, folks. Hey, send me in if you saw the stat that I'm talking about. Send it in. Clarify it with me. We got no problems with that. Anyways, man, Eve, where can the good folks find you?
The good folks can find me at YSharlem on Twitter.
All right, and you always can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short form RM on Twitter, man. Everybody take care, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.